It sounds like a scene from an action movie, but the geopolitical chessboard just exploded in the Atlantic Ocean. We are witnessing a massive escalation as the United States takes direct physical action against Russia's economic lifeline. Since late December, United States forces have been tracking Russia's so-called ghost fleet, tankers used to bypass sanctions. This week, tracking turned into seizing. Hey, I am Arturs, and today we're talking politics. According to reports from the conflict zone, United States Special Operations Forces, specifically Delta units and Navy SEALs, have launched helicopter-borne assaults to seize Russian oil tankers in international waters. One vessel, previously known as the Bella 1 and hastily renamed the Mariner, attempted to paint Russian flags on its hull mid-voyage to claim state protection. Moscow sent a diplomatic note to Washington demanding the harassment stop and deployed a submarine and naval vessels to the Atlantic to guard these shipments. But the United States' argument is clear. Re-registering a ship while it is already at sea does not grant immunity. The operation was reportedly broadcast on television, showing operators conducting air assaults from helicopters onto the deck while Russian escort ships watched, helpless to intervene. Following this raid, reports indicate 2 more ships were seized and 5 other tankers off the coast of Venezuela, recently re-registered under the Russian flag to avoid sanctions, are now in the crosshairs. This is a new phase of the war. The United States is no longer just sanctioning, it is physically dismantling the ghost fleet. While the war heats up at sea, a terrifying transformation is happening on the ground in Ukraine. We are seeing the birth of an entirely new kind of army. Intelligence reveals that Russia has established a separate military branch dedicated solely to drone warfare, the UN Manned Systems Forces. This is not a small unit. We are talking about 80,000 troops currently serving in these drone brigades. The Kremlin has ambitious plans to double this number to 165,000 by the second half of this year, with a goal of reaching nearly 210,000 drone-specialized troops by 2030. To fill these ranks, they are offering massive incentives, including bonuses of up to 350%, effectively treating these drone operators as elite special forces. This shift is backed by a military-industrial complex that is now churning out over 400 long-range drones every single day. This industrial scale has changed the priority of targets on the battlefield. The new high-value target is not a tank or an artillery piece, it is the drone operator. Just as artillery spotters were hunted in the Second World War, modern tactics now revolve around locating the signal source, making rapid decisions, and striking the pilots before they can launch their swarms. In response to this drone saturation, we are seeing bizarre and futuristic adaptations in military technology. Russia's main tank manufacturer, Uralvagonzavod, has rolled out tanks equipped with the Arena M active protection system. These tanks feature radar arrays around the turret designed to detect incoming drones and to fire explosive charges to neutralize them before impact. However, despite the propaganda videos, actual production of these high-tech T-90M tanks remains low, with reportedly only about 10 units produced last year. On a more low-tech but equally dangerous level, Russian snipers and infantry in urban areas have begun using a new type of camouflage that is disturbingly effective. These are 3D texture nets that look exactly like piles of construction rubble and broken bricks. To a drone operator looking down from above, a sniper position just looks like a chaotic heap of debris, making them nearly invisible to optical sensors. Despite these technological leaps and the sheer number of troops, the actual movement on the front line has slowed to a crawl. We are now more than 1,400 days into this war. In the first week of January 2026, Russian forces managed to capture only 44 square kilometers of territory, primarily around Kostiantynivka and Pokrovsk. Analysts have crunched the numbers, and at this current pace of advance, it would take Russia another 1,190 days just to fully capture the 4 regions they have already illegally claimed as their own. That puts a theoretical victory date somewhere in April 2029. The slow pace is partly due to severe winter weather and anti-cyclones affecting the region, but also because Ukrainian defense lines are holding firm against the exhaustion of Russian reserves. However, the Kremlin is not backing down. General Gerasimov has reportedly outlined 3 new priority objectives for 2026, expanding buffer zones into the Sumy and Kharkiv regions, launching flanking attacks to encircle the fortress cities of Sloviansk and Kramatorsk, and pushing toward the logistics hubs of Zaporizhzhia. The global context surrounding this conflict is becoming increasingly unstable. In Iran, a key Russian ally, rebels have reportedly seized several cities and the regime is wobbling. The United States has warned Tehran against bloodshed, while Russia, distracted by its own war, has been unable to assist its partner, just as it failed to protect interests in Syria or Venezuela. Meanwhile, diplomatic talks in Paris regarding security guarantees for Ukraine are ongoing. There is talk of a coalition of the willing, including Britain and France, potentially deploying troops to Ukraine after a ceasefire. However, the United States has notably not yet signed the final security guarantee declaration. This hesitation is fueling speculation that back-channel talks between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin may be influencing the diplomatic landscape, with Moscow warning Washington not to play games. The resilience of the Ukrainians remains the bedrock of this defense. Surveys show that 74% of Ukrainians reject any peace plan that involves trading territory or demilitarizing their army. They have passed the test of endurance, but the war is far from over. Finally, for those looking to directly support the units on the ground, there is a unique opportunity. The Scala Assault Regiment, specifically its 425th Separate Brigade, has put up a rare item for auction, a custom commander swatch usually only awarded for extreme bravery, along with unit patches. This is likely the only set of its kind in the Baltic region, and proceeds will go directly to purchasing drones for the unit. As the war enters this new high-tech phase, every piece of equipment counts.